My brother Danny bragged at dinner. Sold your little food truck for $45,000. The family cheered, finally making smart decisions. I said nothing and smiled. Then the buyer's accountant called, screaming and panicking. Let me back up. For 3 years, I ran Rosie's Kitchen, a modest food truck serving Filipino fusion in the downtown financial district. While my siblings climbed corporate ladders, I parked outside their office buildings and sold lumpia to their coworkers. Every family gathering was the same torture. Still playing with that truck? My uncle would ask, as if I were a child with a toy. Danny, the golden boy investment banker, loved to calculate my lost potential. You could have been making 6 figures by now, he'd say, shaking his head at the waste of my business degree. My dad was worse. He'd introduce me as my daughter who cooks food, with the same tone someone might say, my daughter who collects unemployment. Only my mom defended me. She's happy, she'd say quietly. Nobody listened. Then Randolph Pierce approached me. Slick suit, designer watch, the kind of guy who said synergy unironically. I want to buy your operation, he said, expanded into a franchise. I'm offering $45,000. I knew my truck was worth at least $200,000. I'd spent years building relationships with every major tech company in a 3-block radius. My Tuesday lunch alone grossed $4,000. But Randolph didn't know that because he'd never bothered to check my actual numbers. He'd sent his accountant exactly once, who arrived at 4 p.m. when I was already closing. Slow day? The accountant had asked, seeing my empty serving window. Slowest, I'd confirmed, straight-faced. So Randolph offered $45,000 based on one observation of 0 sales. I accepted immediately. Danny heard about it through his finance network and couldn't wait to announce it at our monthly family dinner. Finally showing some sense, my dad said, actually smiling at me for the first time in years. Take that money, get a real job. My phone rang during dessert. Unknown number. This is Wesley, Mr. Pierce's accountant, a panicked voice stammered. We need to discuss. There's been a terrible mistake. I excused myself and stepped into the hallway. Wesley was nearly hyperventilating. Your actual revenue, we just pulled your real tax records. You're grossing $380,000 annually? The equipment alone is worth, oh God, Mr. Pierce is going to sue me. The sale was final yesterday, I said calmly. Congratulations on your new franchise. Silence. You knew, he whispered. I accepted his offer in good faith. Not my fault his accountant came during my scheduled maintenance window instead of, say, the lunch rush I specifically invited him to attend. More silence. He's going to fire me. Maybe he should have verified his investment before throwing money around. I hung up. When I returned to the table, Danny was mid-story about crushing some quarterly projection. Everything okay? Mom asked. Perfect, I said. That was my real estate agent. I just closed on a commercial kitchen space. Dad frowned. With what money? You just sold everything for $45,000? I smiled. That barely covers the deposit. Good thing I have the $280,000 from selling Rosie's Kitchen to my actual buyers 3 weeks ago, the ones who valued it properly. The table went silent. You sold it twice? Danny's voice cracked. I sold the brand and customer relationships to a restaurant group for $280,000. Then I sold Randolph the physical truck he assumed was the whole business. Separate assets, separate sales, both completely legal. My uncle started laughing first, then my mom. Even my dad looked impressed, though he tried to hide it. That's actually brilliant, Danny admitted quietly. I learned from the best, I said, looking directly at him. You taught me that people will undervalue what they don't understand. Last month, I opened 3 commercial locations. Randolph's franchise collapsed after 2 weeks when he realized the truck without their relationships was just an empty metal box. His accountant Wesley now works for me. He's excellent at due diligence.